Welcome to Academica Lab Solutions. The integrated fiber optics laboratory, designed by Academica, covers the core principles, key technologies, and applications in fiber optic communication. The objective of the lab is to cover the basics of fiber measurements, multimode and single-mode fiber, transmitters and receivers, WDM, and fiber link. The training module, along with the test and measuring instrument setup, offers a comprehensive lab solution and enables the students to carry out various experiments covering fiber optic communication, optical networks, dispersion, CWDM, add drop of channels, building block of an OTDR, OTDR measurements, optical amplifier, splicing, and connectorization. Fiber optic communication system. This is the fiber optic communication system consisting of the 4 modules and an optical power meter. This module has a 1310 nanometer and 1550 nanometer laser source with 1.5 milliwatt power and corresponding 2 detectors. There is a 30 nanosecond and 100 nanosecond pulse generator on board, which is used to transmit very narrow pulse for experiments like chromatic dispersion and building block of an OTDR. 2 DPMs are provided for each lasers, which displays the voltage across the laser and current through the laser. This module has a 50 by 50 coupler, isolators at 1310 and 1550 nanometer, 5 dB and 10 dB attenuators, and 2 WDMs mounted on a sturdy aluminum casing. This module has a 100 meters, 500 meters, and 1000 meter single-mode fiber mounted on a sturdy aluminum casing. This module has a 25 km spool of special fiber mounted on a sturdy aluminum casing, which is used for chromatic dispersion measurement. VI and PI characteristics of laser diode. In this experiment, we will plot the VI and PI graph for a 1310 nanometer laser diode. For this experiment, we need FOL dual and optical power meter. The selector knob is in CW mode and the output of the laser diode is connected to the optical power meter. The FOL dual module is switched on. We will now vary the current flowing through the laser diode by tuning the intensity control pot in the clockwise direction provided on the front panel. You see that as the current increases, the voltage across the laser diode increases, and simultaneously the optical power of the laser diode also increases, which is displayed on the power meter. Note down the readings as shown in the observation table and plot the graph. Similarly, you can repeat the same experiment for a 1550 nanometer laser diode. Building block of an OTDR. The aim of this experiment is to understand the building blocks of an OTDR and find the distance at which there is a break in the fiber. For this experiment, we will need FOL dual, FOL passive, and FOL fiber. Select the 1550 nanometer laser source and turn the selector knob to 100 nanosecond pulse. In this experiment, we are transmitting a 100 nanosecond pulse through the fiber and receiving the back reflected pulse. 1550 nanometer laser output is given to the port 1 of the coupler. The port 4 of the coupler is connected to the FOL fiber module, say 500 meters. Now, since there is a break at the end of the fiber, the back reflected signal will be received at port 2 of the coupler. In order to detect the reflected pulse, we connect the output port of the coupler 2 to the detector 2, which is a pin TIA, trans impedance amplifier. On the oscilloscope, we can see the transmitted pulse and the reflected pulse. The time delay delta t is measured using the oscilloscope and applied to the shown formula. The result indicates that the reflection of pulse takes place at 500 meter distance because of the break in the fiber. Now, change the fiber length by connecting it to a 1000 meter fiber. You will see the reflected pulse has further moved away from the transmitted pulse. Calculate the delta T and find the distance at which there is a break. 2-channel wavelength division multiplexing. In this experiment, we will see how two different signals like sine wave and a TTL signal are transmitted through a single core fiber and individually recovered at the receiver. For this experiment, we need FOL dual and FOL passive. At the 1310 nanometer transmitter side, the selector knob is set to analog. A 20 kHz sine wave is given as an input from the FG. The output of the 1310 nanometer laser source is connected to the 1310 nanometer port of the WDM1. Now, at the 1550 nanometer transmitter side, the selector knob is set to TTL and a 20 kHz TTL signal is given as an input from the FG. The output of the 1550 nanometer laser source is connected to the 1550 nanometer port of the WDM1. You can see the multiplexed output at port 3 of WDM1, either on our optical spectrum analyzer, or you can connect it to the detector 2 and see the electrical signal on the digital storage oscilloscope. The output of the port 3 of MUX1 is given to the port 3 of the MUX2, and you can see the demultiplex signal at port 1, 1310 nanometer, and port 2, 1550 nanometer, respectively on our optical spectrum analyzer. In order to see the electrical signal, connect the 1310 nanometer port of WDM to detector 2 and 1550 nanometer port of WDM to detector 1. We can now see both the recovered signals on the oscilloscope. Chromatic dispersion measurement. Group velocity is different at different wavelengths because the medium is dispersive. In this experiment, we will calculate the dispersion in the fiber when a 30 nanosecond pulse is transmitted at 1310 and 1550 nanometers through a fiber length of 25 kilometers. For this experiment, we will need FOL dual, FOL passive, and FOL CD. TTL signal is given as input to both 1310 and 1550 nanometer laser source simultaneously using a function generator with T-connector. The selector knob is set to 30 nanosecond pulse mode, and the output of 1310 nanometer and 1550 nanometer laser source is given to port 1 and port 2 of WDM1 on FOL passive respectively. The output of WDM1 is given to the input of FOL CD. The pulse travels a distance of approximately 25 kilometers, and the received signal is given to the detector 1 to get the electrical pulse back. On the oscilloscope, you will see the difference between group time pulse at 1310 nanometer and 1550 nanometer. This is delta T. Using the formula shown, you can calculate the dispersion. As per the experimental setup, we observe that delta T is 44 nanoseconds. Length of the fiber traversed is 25 kilometers. Delta lambda, that is 1550 nanometer minus 1310 nanometer, is 240 nanometers. So applying it to the formula, the dispersion at 1450 nanometer is 7.33 picosecond per kilometer per nanometer. Characterization of passive optical components. Here, we will characterize each passive component and verify it with the datasheet. For this experiment, we require FOL dual, FOL passive, and optical power meter. Measurement of insertion loss and coupling efficiency of the coupler. Set the 1310 nanometer laser source to 0 dBm. Connect the source to port 1 of the coupler and measure the optical power at port 3 and port 4. Since this is a 50 by 50 coupler or a 3 dB coupler, you will get equal power at both the ports. Set the 1310 nanometer laser source to 1 milliwatt. Note this as P1. Connect the source to port 1 of the coupler and measure the optical power at port 3 and port 4. Note this as P3 and P4 respectively. Also measure the power at port 2 and note this as P2. By applying the formula, you will be able to calculate the coupling efficiency and the insertion loss of the coupler and verify it with the datasheet. Measurement of isolation factor of an isolator. Isolator is used in an optical network to block any back-reflected signal reaching the laser source. Hence, the isolation factor of an isolator is very important parameter. This component is also wavelength dependent, and hence we have provided two isolators, one at 1310 nanometer and another at 1550 nanometer. Set the 1310 nanometer laser source to 1 milliwatt or 0 dBm. Note this as P1. Apply the source to the isolator and measure the output of the isolator using the power meter. Note this as P2. This will be around minus 35 dBm, indicating an isolation factor of 35 dB. Measurement of attenuation in an attenuator. Set the 1310 nanometer laser source to 1 milliwatt or 0 dBm. Note this as P1. Apply the source as input to the attenuator and measure the output of the attenuator using the power meter. Note this as P2. This will be around 5 dB, which matches with the datasheet of the attenuator. FOL-CWDM, Coarse Wavelength Division Multiplexing and Add Drop of Channel. FOL-CWDM is a benchtop module enabling the students to implement CWDM and demonstrate the functioning of add drop of channel in optical networks. This module has 4 DFB lasers of different wavelengths with channel separation of 20 nanometers as per ITU standards like 1510 nanometers, 1530 nanometers, 1550 nanometers and 1570 nanometer. It also has a 4-pin photodiode detector, 4-channel 4:1 mux demux, fiber Bragg rating with reflection at 1550 nanometer, a 3-port polarization independent optical circulator for C plus L band. This module is interfaced with the PC via USB, and a user-friendly GUI allows to control parameters and display results. Facility for source modulation using internal test signal as well as external user-defined signals are also available. CWDM using internal modulation signal. Switch on the system and connect the USB cable to the PC. Launch the FOL-CWDM software on the PC and select the correct COM port. The laser power supply is switched on. Connect the individual laser sources to the respective MUX input ports. MUX output is connected to the DMUX input and the demultiplexed output is connected to corresponding detectors. Now, select the modulation mode in the software. Also select all the laser sources and the internal modulation mode on the software. For each wavelength, select an internally generated digital signal using the drop-down arrow and keep the slider to any value above 80 units. Then, click the Run button. Now, you will be able to transmit and receive signal at respective receiver channels. Optical Add Drop of Channel OADM. Now let's understand the concept of OADM, Optical Add Drop Multiplexing, using our FOL-CWDM module. While transmission, there might be a need to add or drop one channel or wavelength and route it to another location. This is where we use OADM. OADM is a combination of a 3-port circulator and an FBG with a central wavelength equal to the wavelength that needs to be dropped, in our case, FBG at 1550 nanometer. Dropping of channel. The multiplex signal coming from a different location consisting of wavelength 1510 nanometers, 1530 nanometers, 1550 nanometers and 1570 nanometers is given to the circulator port 1. The circulator will transmit to port 2. The port 2 of the circulator is given to the input of the FBG. Since this FBG's central wavelength is at 1550 nanometer, it will reflect 1550 and come as input to port 2 of the circulator, which in turn will be transmitted to port 3. This is where you can receive the dropped wavelength or the channel. Adding of channel. The multiplex signal that is coming from a different location reaches port 2 of the circulator through the FBG. This mux signal will reach port 3. The wavelength 1550 nanometer that needs to be added is given to the port 1 of the circulator. Also, the 1550 nanometer signal reaching port 2 gets reflected back by the FBG and will pass to port 3 of the circulator, and thus will add up to the multiplex signal. Hence, at port 3, we will receive the mux signal plus the added wavelength or the channel. FOL EDFA, EDFA Training System. FOL EDFA is a benchtop module with building blocks of an EDFA system, which allows students to experimentally investigate the principles and characteristics of optical amplifier in C-band, like small signal gain, gain saturation, saturation output power, pump saturation, and backward pumping. The building blocks of an EDFA system has a 1550 nanometer signal source, 980 nanometer pump source, variable attenuator to control the signal power, WDM1 to combine signal source and pump source into erbium doped fiber, and erbium doped fiber with high doping concentration, WDM2 for the recovery of the signal, a narrow band optical filter at 1550 nanometer, and an optical detector. This module is interfaced with the PC via USB, and a user-friendly GUI allows to control parameters and display results. Switch on the system and connect the USB cable to the PC. Launch the FOL EDFA software on the PC and select the correct COM port. The laser power supply is switched on. Now, a 1550 nanometer signal source is connected to port 1 of VOA. Port 2 of VOA is connected to 1550 nanometer port of WDM1. The VOA is set to minimum position. The mux output of WDM1 is connected to the power meter to measure the signal source power. Switch on the 1550 nanometer signal source and click the run button. Use the slider to increase the current of the signal source till we set the power to 1 milliwatt. This can be viewed on the power meter. Since this is the input power we are feeding the EDF, we are measuring the signal source power at the mux port of WDM1. Now, increase the attenuation of the VOA by turning clockwise such that the power of the signal source at mux port of WDM1 is -35 dBm. Switch off the 1550 nanometer signal source from the software. Now, 980 nanometer pump laser is connected to the 980 nanometer port of WDM1. Switch on the 980 nanometer pump laser and measure the output power of the mux port of the WDM1. Using the slider, increase the current of the pump laser and set the power to say 50 milliwatt. This is the pump power. Switch off the pump laser from the software. Now, connect the mux output of WDM1 to EDF port 1. EDF port 2 is connected to mux port of WDM2, and 1550 nanometer port of WDM2 is connected to the optical filter. Connect the power meter at the output of the optical filter to measure the amplified output power of the signal source along with ASE at 1550 nanometer. The amplified spontaneous emission ASE power at 50 milliwatt of pump power is practically calculated using an optical spectrum analyzer over a wavelength range of 1551 to 1552 nanometer, which is approximately 2.911 microwatt as shown. Now, the gain is calculated using the formula as shown. Gain is equal to P out minus P ASE divided by P in. Now, change the input power of the signal source using the VOA in steps of 5 dBm up to a value of minus 10 dBm and calculate the gain of the amplifier for each input value of the 1550 nanometer signal source. Now we have all the data like input power, output power and gain for each of the input power value of the 1550 nanometer signal source. With this, plot the following graph. Input signal power versus gain to find small signal gain. The plot shows that the gain is relatively flat until the input signal power is increased to a certain level. This flat region from minus 35 dBm to minus 20 dBm is the small signal gain region. Input signal power versus gain to find gain saturation. The plot shows that as the input signal power is increased beyond minus 20 dBm, the gain would begin to decrease. This gain decrease is the effect of gain saturation. Output signal power versus gain to find saturation output power. The plot shows that as the input signal power is increased beyond a certain level, the gain would begin to decrease. At the point where the gain has decreased 3 dB, the corresponding output signal power is the saturation output power. In this case, the saturation output power is about 9 dBm. Now, to plot and measure the pump saturation, we will keep the signal source power constant at minus 10 dBm and change the 980 nanometer pump power from 10 milliwatt to 80 milliwatt in steps of 5 milliwatt. Measure the gain of the optical amplifier using the same procedure and plot. Pump power versus gain to find pump saturation. The plot shows that at low pump powers below 20 milliwatt, the gain increases linearly. But as the pump power is increased even more, the gain slope begins to get smaller and level out. This decrease in the gain slope is the effect of pump saturation, backward pumping. In this, we will see the effect of backward pumping wherein the pump laser source is injected to the erbium doped fiber in the opposite direction. For this experiment, we will remove the pump laser from the 980 nanometer port of WDM1 and connect it to the 980 nanometer port of WDM2. By doing this, we are injecting the pump source in the opposite direction of the signal source. Follow the similar experimental procedures and investigate the results. Fiber optic test equipment and toolset. The fiber optic test equipment and toolset is supplied to skill the students in testing, maintaining, troubleshooting and analyzing a fiber optic link. This setup consists of an optical source, optical power meter, fusion splicing machine with connectorization toolkit and an OTDR along with an event module. In this video, you will see how a fiber is connectorized using the toolkit, using the optical source and power meter how to measure the loss, and splicing of fiber using fusion splicing machine. At first, the outer jacket of the single mode fiber is cut with the stripper. The Kevlar is cut using the scissors. Now take the stripper and strip the buffer so that you can see the glass fiber. Clean this fiber with a tissue with IP solution. Then you will use the cleaver to cleave the fiber, setting the desired cleave length. Using the VFL, insert the glass fiber through the fast SC connector provided and lock it. fiber is now terminated with the SC connector. You can perform the connectorization on the other side of the fiber and a patch cord will be ready. Use the optical source and power meter to measure the loss. Now, in order to splice both the ends of the fiber, repeat the same procedure until you have cleaved both the ends of the fiber to be spliced. Switch on the splicing machine. Insert the fiber from each side as shown and lock it. The fusion splicing machine will automatically align the core to core of the fiber and splice it. The display screen shows the alignment and fusion. Once the splice is done, the machine will display the splice loss. Optical time domain reflectometer and fiber event module. As part of Academica's fiber optic laboratory, OTDR along with fiber event module is integrated to ensure that students would be able to analyze a fiber optic link with few events which otherwise would not be available in the lab environment. This instrument has two modes, VFL and the OTDR. The VFL mode is used to test the continuity of the fiber. It has a normal mode and a flash mode. Now, we will go to the OTDR mode. Let us understand the various parameters that needs to be set before we analyze the link. Click on the Set tab and a pop-up screen will open. The first tab is to set the measurement parameters. First step is to select single mode fiber and the wavelength, either at 1310 and or 1550 nanometer. The next parameter to be selected is the range. As shown, these are the various options you will see. You can either select auto or select any distance from the drop-down menu. The next parameter to be selected is the pulse width. As shown here, there are 4 options. While selecting this, there is a trade-off that the user must consider. If one needs high resolution, then select the minimum pulse width, but the range will reduce, and in case you need to analyze a long link, then one must select a longer pulse width. Then we set the measurement type. In this, we have a real-time mode and average mode. If you have selected the average mode, then average time needs to be selected as per the options provided. This will enable the OTDR to acquire the signal for the set time and then display the trace. The unit of length is fixed to meters. The IOR represents the reflectivity of the optical fiber under test and can be set by the user as shown. In this case, it is set at 1.4685. The backscattering coefficient and reflection threshold is factory set and cannot be changed by the user. The non-reflection threshold can be set by the user, but as default set in auto mode. End threshold is used as a threshold value to display events that are higher than the set value. In this case, set to 5 dB. The next tab is the file parameter setting, which provides the documentation information for future reference and records. It has an autosave option wherein you can save this file on the SD card provided. The next tab is the screenshot set, wherein you can enter details to save the screenshot of the trace. The next tab is the system parameter setting as shown. Once this is done, we can confirm the setting. Now, we will demonstrate how to use and analyze an OTDR trace using the event module, which consists of a single mode fiber with breaks at different lengths, adapters, connectors, etc. The fiber optic event module under test is connected to the OTDR port with SC connector as shown. There are different types of events like the initial event, which marks the starting point of optical fiber, end event, which marks the end or fracture point of the tested fiber, reflective event such as the connector, and the non-reflective event like the loss along the fiber. As discussed earlier, the OTDR parameters like the wavelength, range, pulse width, average time and IOR are set as shown. Then we run the OTDR and see the OTDR trace. The OTDR displays the power of the reflected signal related to distance. The OTDR measures the position of events, attenuation coefficient of fiber, and loss of a single event. The analysis of the trace can now be done from the Event tab. In the Event tab, you see number of events occurred, types of events with different symbols indicating different event types, location, insertion loss, attenuation loss, and reflection loss. In this trace, event number 1 is the initial event indicating the starting point of the fiber. Event number 2 is a reflective event at 10.21 meters, which is because of the adapter that we have inserted with a reflection loss of 46.2 dB. Event number 3 is again a reflective loss at a distance of 522 meters, which is because of the connector in the link. This connector has an insertion loss of 0.8 dB and reflection loss of 36 dB. Between event number 2 and 3, the OTDR measures the attenuation coefficient of the fiber, which is 0.2 dB per kilometer. Event number 4 is the end event at 623 meters, which marks the end of fiber. The parameter tab gives you complete information of the settings that we have done. The Fiber Link tab allows you to set the file name for future identification and records. Information like the length of the fiber, 623 meters, total loss is 1.902 dB, number of events is 4, and the total attenuation is 3.05 dB. The AB Cursor tab gives you the loss between the two markers. Thank you.